Hello everybody, welcome to ZeldaSpeedRuns, broadcasting the Link to the Past NMG League Season 2. We got the Dark World Round 3 for you today. It's Chexhuman versus Doomtap. Commentating for us is Kaznode. Say hello everybody.
What's going on, gamers? All right, looks like the race is about to begin in 5 seconds or so. Okay, 30 seconds. It's starting is the important thing. All right, so we're here with round 3 match of Season 2 of the Legend of Zelda A Link to the Past No Major Glitches tournament. We have here Chexhuman and Doomtap, both two fantastic players. Chex PB'd in his last race, which was against me last week. And Doomtap recently beat the Error in his match last week and is undefeated so far in the season. All right, and they are running out of the house. In this match, I'd say that the favorite is definitely Doomtap. He's extremely consistent, and he has a PB that's about a minute and a half better than Chex's. Better, I should say faster, but either way. And Doomtap has also been very consistent. One thing that he's known for is being one of 2 people to do the 10MG challenge, which is running 10 runs in a row of this category. It takes a solid 13, 14 hours. And when he did that, I don't think that he might have had 125. He had a 123, and the rest were 124s, which is outlandish. That doesn't mean that he necessarily couldn't lose his mind and die, but Chex will probably have a hill to climb to get ahead here. They're picking up the boomerang and the key perfectly in sync, and they even have the same heart drop in the same place. They're going down to the ball and chain guard, the first real point of danger in this run. It's pretty rare to die to ball and chain guard, but he still does a heart of damage, and when you're doing this 8/ strat, it's easy to mess up and run into him, get hit by the chain, get out of control quickly. They had nearly identical fights, very well executed 8/. And they're still just about synced as they head back upstairs with Zelda. Escape is, of course, that time in the run where often there's just not much to say. for rooms like this, you execute them the same way every time, and it's only really worth speaking up if somebody makes a mistake. For instance, Doomtap came kind of close to getting hit by in his return trip through the key guard. If you try to pump against the chest, it's easy to aggro that guy early and potentially take a hit to the back and lose a second. $420 in the throne room. And they pushed the tableau aside. Doomtap got a relatively uncommon rat there, having to dodge out of the way. Didn't boom it, which I find interesting. They both come through the snake hellway and are still synced, avoided every snake. Oh, Chex takes a hit. It looked like there was a weird rat stack going on there. Definitely not surprising that he took a hit. Coming through these waterlogged rooms is where pumping is most important in the skate. Oh, Chex with a very northwest key rat, and yep, it's a real pain to pick up that key. For some reason, when you're throwing a boomerang upwards, it just takes a long time for it to latch onto the key. I'm not sure why. You'd rather throw the boomerang diagonally, in which case it has an absolutely ridiculous hitbox and will grab anything within a meter of it. And after all is said and done, Chex is coming out of Escape with a 555 and Doomtap with look like a 52-53. Both perfectly ordinary escape times. And they do both grab the Sanctuary Heart, not surprising. I like how even in screens like this, where you're essentially just holding right, there are things that you can do to optimize it to make sure that you don't get an anti-pump. You just get that tiny little frame advantage. So we head through the Octorok field. It looks like Doomtap has to boom an Octorok, but it got in his way. It wasn't too hard to see coming. Checks with a little bit of a weird Octorok up between those two statues. Takes a hit as he tries to position himself to hit the Armos out of the way. That Octorok is always a pain. And we do see them both doing stair drag cancels. Eastern is probably the one split where you see the stair drag canceled the most. Probably purely because of that overworld screen. There are just a lot of long stairs and pumping sections to go through there. Lots of ways to optimize it. Doom getting some funky Stalfos RNG there. Both of them executing the Stalfos room well, but Chex looked a little bit slower there. That's another room that's just impossible to optimize. When I go into practice hack and look at the best times, I just have no idea where some of those frames come from. Interesting that Doom elects to boomerang that Popo. We see Chex slash him, looking for that rupee drop. The Popo stays out of their way in the dark room, don't even have to boom it. Doom with a very nice big key skip got sent back directly into the stairs. Chex with a good one as well, but not quite as crisp. That was a good reaction by Doomtap to that Stalfos. If I was in that position, I probably would have slashed and he would have gotten in my way again on the bottom. Both opting to arrow that Igor from the right. That was a strat that used to not really be common. Everybody used to slash the Popos, but that's fallen out of favor. Doomtap with some good Zelda Gamer Room RNG. Chex with the same RNG, setting up well. Red Igor's another impossible room to optimize. Doom with the Pincus Armos, executed very well. Chex more traditional, but also going well. Doomtap coming out of Eastern with slightly more rupees and arrows. The arrows, it doesn't make a difference because of what we pick up in Desert, but the rupees might come into play. 8 is actually a pretty uncommon total to see. That means that Chex has found 3 green rupees, which is unfortunate. You'd really rather those be any other color. Doomtap pumping around Sahasrarla's hut, while Chex goes for a dash. Looks like they're both getting their spin speed and moving out of there pretty well. We see both players sort of, with those bushes right there, they kind of, they corrected so that they dashed through the bushes, even though that wasn't necessarily the obvious choice. We do that so that we dash on the slope below. It's just the little diagonal jet out there, and it's always faster to take one of those dashing than it is to move cardinally. They both had no problem in the library screen. Spin speed RNG working out great. Avoiding the blue guard there, always nice. Both of them opting to menu to book to avoid the slashy dashy. Splashy dashy, excuse me. Doom getting right up next to that cactus, that's where you want to be. Check's a little bit lower. neither of them making the error of making Link sing the song of his people twice. It's always obnoxious when that happens. That happens because you're simply pumping too hard. I guess it's not pumping, it's mashing. Both of them, no problems with the torch key. Doom coming into the cannonball room. Ooh, I don't think he needed to stop there. I think that he probably could have made it through. But that can be a difficult RNG to stop. Chex having to stop his dash for sure. Doom doesn't need those arrows. Personally, I probably would have gotten them. I think if you can get up to 30 in Desert Palace, it's always nice. It sets you up pretty well for the rest of the run and guarantees that you're not going to have issues with arrows in Aghanim's Tower in particular. Doom getting Desert Palace spin speed without problem. Chex doesn't go for it. Fun fact, that spin speed saves more time than unholy spin speed on the library screen. I didn't see whether Chex lucked out with the rupee drop or got the pot, but he's up to 13 now, and they're both completely set as far as rupees go. And we are heading into Landmo. Doom gets 2, 2, and 1 on this first cycle. Oh, Chex facing the wrong way on the third one. Hate it when that happens. Having to start slashing. It looked like Doom ended up with a speedy 4 cycle. Chex having a little more trouble, but they're about an item fanfare away from each other. And yes, they are both menuing to Boomerang. That menu is free. For whatever reason, the pendant still falls while the pause screen is coming up and down. So that menu, the game's moving anyway, so it doesn't matter that the menu's coming up. They both line up well on that slope. Chex having to dodge a pickle. Having to dodge both pickles, and that's where Boomerang comes in handy. Also had Crab Jesus get in the way. Hate that guy. I don't know if it's better to boom that pickle than just dash above the sign normally. Coming through Death Mountain Cave, getting to mash through some old text, some old man text. Fun fact, you can mash with the X button there because for whatever reason, it's impossible to open the map in a cave. Death Mountain was nice to Doom, and he had no issues with his spin speed. Ooh. Chex got tagged by a boulder and had to redo his spin speed, but after that it worked out. It's unfortunate Chex didn't get the quick warp there, even though he spent a little bit of time positioning himself for it. Oh, I hate that mini mold. Sometimes he just F's off somewhere completely different, or sometimes he's as anywhere as he can be. And yeah, Chex showing why we don't like the mini mold arms in this dungeon. It's so easy to get nickeled and dimed by them, and even though he came into the dungeon with 5 hearts, he's now got 2, and it's actually kind of dangerous. Chex having to slash that switch, whereas when Doom went into the room, it was already activated because of how they did the tile room. Well, Chex also gets tagged by a Stealthos there. I wonder if he's going to hit the backup switch. I probably would at this point. It's just too easy to lose a heart for no reason at all. And he does get an arrow drop, has to cancel his dash for it, but that's probably worth it. And yep, Chex hits that backup switch. Hope he doesn't lose a heart in the petting zoo. Mini mold getting in his way, but it all works out. Doomtap coming into Moldarm. So Moldorm displaying his wild hitbox there. I can't believe that he clinked and didn't hit the tail. And yeah, sometimes when you get into the fast phase, the best thing to do is just sit tight and let Moldorm run into you. It's pretty safe to hold your dash while Moldorm goes through you. You're just not likely to get frame ruled there. Oh wow, Doomtap had arrow Katy Perry. Chex taking a hit on Moldorm, but it was overall not too clenchy of a fight. Those hearts he lost ended up not really coming into play at all. Very good. Doomtap getting 3 rupees and arrowing the bird, and he'll probably get only 3 reds. Because he only needs 60 rupees. Meanwhile, Chex does an uncommon right side dash up the rupee tree, and then he cuts over, dashes through the bush bug, and arrows the pickle from the right. That's a pretty odd combination of strats. Chex with a nice right side Master Sword grab. You can see that Link's kind of offset from the middle there. It just saves you a couple frames here and there. Doomtap dashing through that bird in the log coming out of Lost Woods for his last red rupee kill. Dashing through it like that, I think that he got the heart drop from the last bird that he arrowed, so he is on the arrow drop. So dashing through that bird ensures that it won't drop the arrows somewhere that you can't reach them. Doom with the cool going over the torch with his dash. That saves some frames, but is risky RNG-wise. You can always get messed up by the guards. Textbook keyguard strat. Shoutouts to Josh. Doomtap reacting very well to RNG in the Dark Maze, going out of his way to avoid getting smacked by the guards, and as a result, hasn't lost any life and gets to keep his beams. And yeah, Chex didn't even try to get out of the way of that guard. Ooh, very interesting. Doom went for the arrow strat even though he's got beams and the double readies. I wonder if that's based on the RNG pattern that he got. You can see which way the guards are facing when you first come into the room and make decisions based on that. And Chex going around. Oh, Chex missing that spin a little bit. Having to slash the guard. And getting that one extra rupee from the pot there. To end on a perfect 110. Somebody else is going to have to keep track of blue balls for me. And as Chex heads into Aghanim, he's behind on his PB about 17-18 seconds, while Doomtap is behind about 13 on his. And this has resulted in Chex having being behind quite a bit. It hasn't been a bad run for him at all. There's been maybe a little bit of slop here and there, but overall, this is a run that I would be happy with. But all the same, Doomtap is just crushing it like he does every time. Did not look like Doomtap got many blue balls. It was like 1 or 2. He definitely didn't get that extra lightning cycle. Did Chex get 0? I think Chex got 0. That's funny. He got only 1 in the race with me last week. Gotta love it when you've got that good race RNG. He's going to make up a little bit of time on Doomtap for that, maybe 10 seconds or so, but it's considering how bad Aghanim can go, that's a loss you're willing to take. It could have been so much worse. Both of them nailing first spin speed of the Dark World. Hate it when I miss that one. Doomtap picks up Kiki, the guard stays out of his way. And he uses his menu buffer for the Kiki dash. Gets you a pretty good Kiki dash, but it's possible for him to be even closer. Check's doing the same. It looks like he went back quite a bit further than you had to. Kiki taking his time a little bit there, getting on and off link. The jelly stays out of Doomtap's way. He doesn't have to slash it. And also having a very nice bombable floor. You want that bomb to explode as soon as you're properly in position over the correct floor. So if you're not sitting there for long, that means that you timed the laying your bomb just right. Checks with a little more of a delay, but it was still solid. Doomtap staying out of that jelly's way. You can slash him and look for a drop. I'm actually surprised that he didn't, because I think he's still on arrows. But, It was also kind of close. It was possible it could electrify and make him sad. Gets a very good hammer jump, doesn't have to do any extra buffers at all. Uses his slash to position himself precisely. Checks resorting to menu buffers. Only using one extra one though. Pretty solid. Doomtap opting to walk up to that key chest to position for the arrow shot that hits the switch. I think most people tend to dash there, but that's one of the places where you can see a lot of variance in strats. Ooh, gets the 10 arrow drop from Mimic Bro. Checks his mimics also going well, though he doesn't get the lucky drop. Doomtap had a turtle go low, and he reacted pretty well to it, moving down and hammering an extra time to take it out. I think what most people would do there is just spin normally and go get that turtle after they've hammered the rest. Nope, missing his first spin speed on Helma, though he did have good RNG with Helma charging him. No fireballs and a pretty nice pattern from Doomtap. He gets out with all his hearts intact. Hey, what's up, Zelda Speedruns Raiders? Welcome to our game. Chex using his hammer, breaking the mask to interrupt Helma's fireballs. Looked like Helma was doing a lot of shuffling for Chex. It was definitely a more difficult fight than Doomtap was handed. Doom with a 610 pod. Generally, with a 610 or lower is what you'd like to see. It's sometimes not possible due to RNG, but that's where the sweet spot is. Checks with around a 615 or so. Doomtap successfully doing the hammer peg dash. For some reason, that dash is just really tough for me. I miss it all the time, and I don't know why. It's just an ordinary dash. Ooh, Chex got lotteried. Unfortunate. I'm curious whether Chex will opt to take a safety. You don't tend to lose a lot of hearts in Thieves Town, but things can go awry, and there are a number of different ways to pick up hearts before you get there. Doomtap with perfect Usain Bolt spin speed, blowing his flute as he goes. Chex also with a successful Usain Bolt spin speed, getting out of there unscathed. Doomtap with an excellent Apple Bapple screen. Does the hammer dash through the pegs and enters the left side of the warp to ensure a quick warp. It's interesting that Doom chooses to walk a little bit there after he dashes through the bush. Positioning for that long bush dash is a bit of a pain, and if you're too high, you'll bounce off the tree at the end. Doomtap getting some nasty RNG from the Zazek and the Fire Snake. Sometimes you just take a hit there and there's nothing you can do about it. Chex had to dash an extra time there. He was a little too far to the left. Chex also with some difficult Zazak RNG, but without the fireball there, he has a little bit of time to get out of its way. Doomtap reacting well to the conveyor jelly's room, and also gets the God Pixel and Hellway and dashes through without issue. You love to see it. The bug does get in his way upstairs. Sometimes you gotta slash that guy. Uh-oh, Chex said lol in chat. Interesting Hellway RNG. Gets the God Pixel, but the Patrick Stars get in his way. Both of them. Doomtap using his menu buffer as he comes back through Hellway. Interesting choice. That Patrick Star can give you some funky RNG. Most of the time you can just walk down, sometimes you can't. Ooh, and gets the 5-arrow drop from the Zazak before he picks up the block. Doom doing very well on arrows. Yep, Chex got that strange Starfish RNG. And takes an extra hit. I'm down 3 hearts now. Having a little bit of a messy menu there. Sometimes you just accidentally hit the left button extra time and have to stop and think about what you're doing in the menu. Walks right and hammers the Stalfos instead of going for a waffle dash. I think we all know what to expect from Blind. Doomtap with excellent Blind RNG. Chex bouncing off the skull on the switch there. That's just a painful dash. The conveyors there means things can go all sorts of funky. Chex also with excellent blind RNG. You know the fight's gone well when he dies sort of off to the top left of the sunlight patch. Doomtap getting into the boom hut. That little slash before you throw the bomb, well, after you throw the bomb, but before you dash, is to help time your dash so that you don't run into the bomb and take a heart of damage needlessly. Chex doing the same. Doomtap returning the smith to his rightful place and picking up the tempered sword. This is another one of those sequences where it's easy to lose so many frames based on what seems arbitrary, but is really under your control. Stuff like where you're talking to the guards, how you're mashing through the text, how you dash back out of the hut. These are all things that we take into consideration, because we honestly just have nothing else to nitpick here. Doomtap getting his fence dash and his rupees. Oh, gets the weird guard RNG where it throws its spear from the left side of the path. It means that you've got to move up and delay your dash a little bit, because otherwise it's just going to smack you and knock you out of it. Shoutouts to bees. Doomtap with awesome drops this run. Gets a bomb from the jelly in Mummy Room. Having a very nice first part of Skull, nice and easy, nothing really getting in his way. That's an interesting place to menu for bombs. Going for the cursed early jump, getting it, and then getting rocked by the mini Moldorms, who just cannot leave well enough alone, no matter which dungeon they're in. As a result, he's down a heart more than he normally would be, but in this dungeon, you're not surprised if you take a hit here and there. Chex doing a more regular bomb jump and picking up the fire rod without issue. Doomtap gets unfortunate Fire Snake RNG and has to pause his dash, but when he restarts it, he makes sure to go up against the block to guarantee his key door dash. Slashing the mummy into the spikes. And falling into Mothula, getting the poke dash. And a pretty dang good fight. Chex choosing to do a safer strat for the Mummy Hellway. It's definitely one of the most dangerous rooms to go wrong in Skullwoods. Nothing wrong with losing a few frames to ensure that it doesn't mess up. Now Chex is dropping into Mothula. Also gets the poke dash. And also gets nice RNG and cleans up Mothula real quick. And yes, Doomtap did EBJ. Doomtap actually gaining time on his PB in the Dark World so far. Not a ton of it, but a few seconds there, here, a few seconds there. He's only 20 behind on 123 pace. Just a rock-solid run so far. Guess the pixel he wants for that dash, the one where you just kind of graze the right side of that gate. If you're further to the left than that, then the guard will get in your way. If you're further to the right, then you're just going to bounce off the gate. Ooh, Ooh, Doom got lotteried. So let's see if he can find the hearts. I'm kind of surprised that he didn't opt for a safer strat there. I'm just not brave enough to do it in a race. Doomtap got his quick fish nicely. And yeah, Check's doing the safe Louis Dash on the lottery screen. Not even giving the Ropa a chance. Though Doomtap did manage to farm up his hearts and might as well have never gotten lotteried in the first place, lucking out on his drops again. Check's using the top bush to grab the catfish. You don't see that too often. Doomtap with a very nice Zora's River. This is one of those screens where you can so easily lose so much time. One dash slightly off on water can have big consequences. Check's also executing well so far. Doomtap had a little bit of a spooky crab there, but it all worked out, and nothing in his way as he enters the whirlpool. Fire rods, the ice guy, I forget what they're called, and uses an extra shot to speed up his exit a little bit. Check's approaching the whirlpool. Also has a nice entry, doesn't have any Zoros in his way. Doomtap coming into Bombable Floor, one of the most risky rooms in Ice Palace. Interesting. I'm surprised that he slashed the switch. That bomb reaches further than you'd think. You can lay that pretty much anywhere when you're holding upright near that switch and it'll work out. Gets the leftward belt RNG. Just doesn't have to do anything tricky to beam the key jelly. And executing Ice Palace bomb jump flawlessly. Check's entering Bombable Floor. Has some jellies getting in his way, but reacts well and they don't have consequences. Doomtap opting for the old school Lonely Hammer bar. Using ice physics and the hammer to position himself so that he gets just snaps into the stairs just right. Oh, Check's having to buffer a bit for Ice Palace bomb jump, but does get it. Doomtap entering his Cold Stir fight. Doing the one poke, one slash strat. That's generally considered to be the best compromise between skill and speed. Not too hard to do, but it saves a lot of time over the 6 slash. Now Chex enters Cold Stare. Ooh. Moved up incorrectly and just kind of ran into Cold Stare instead of poking him with the sword. Can't take a hit from Cold Stare, can take a hit from the ice. Gets one of the puffs in the corner. Ooh, this is spooky. And eventually cleans it up. A bit of a party, but you love to get out alive. Doomtap entering Death Mountain uses a very nice pause buffer to avoid the squirrel there. A lot of people just dash and pray, myself included. And sometimes that squirrel gets in your way and blocks you off and makes you real sad. Chex was trending at about 10-15 seconds behind his PB, but the Cold Stare fight is setting him back quite a bit. Meanwhile, Doomtap is only around 20 seconds behind his PB. And considering that he lost 13 seconds to Blue Balls, that's kind of amazing. Oh, gets snagged by the Octorok. I have no idea how the hitboxes work around there. Sometimes the rocks just pass through stuff. Doom gets the quick warp entering Swamp. Entering the dam, I guess I should say. Does a safe dash out of the room. Not the fastest strat and not very flashy, but certainly serviceable. Oh, is Chex going for anti-fairy skip? Nah, he opts to call it off. The Strider's lining up nicely for Doom, doesn't have to break off his dash. Doing the same for Chex. I bet Doom was a little tempted to extend his dash a bit there. If you manage to kill that Stalfos with your dash, you you gain some time from lag on the water filling up from the switch. Stalfos being right in Chex's way. I'm surprised he didn't dash through it. But you gotta do what you gotta do. To be fair, Doomtap got incredible arrow drops in this run. He got the 10 from the ready, got 5 from a jelly. Had a great landmo. Not forgetting to hit the switch after pushing the other switch. Just dashes over instead of going for a hammer dash. Nice and safe. Well, that was a little bit of his spooky jelly. Good thing that he didn't get smacked out of his dash. That's always a little bit of a scary spot, and it just sucks to get hit there. Chex with the same. Doomtap also not opting to hammer dash through that skull. I wonder if it's faster to dash or to beam that jelly there. I think it's better to beam if you have them, but I'm not sure. Oh no, Chex! Chex, forgot to hit the switch! How could you do this, Chex? Yeah, at least he didn't get all the way to the big key chest before realizing. That's especially painful. Oh, Check's getting unlucky with the Water Strider and the bubble. Gets knocked out of his dash. Doom also getting squeezed by the Water Strider. That's just kind of what this dungeon does. Stuff just gets in your way, even though it shouldn't most of the time. Moving through Phelps Way and entering Arcus. Very nice zero cycle from Doomtap. Has to re-slash and start up his hook dash again, but doesn't have a problem with it and picks off the last two puffs very quickly. Meanwhile, Check's having a little bit of difficulty in the hookshot room. That's another one where the bubble can just pop up under you. His jelly electrifies. Ooh, Check's also getting squeezed by the Water Strider there. That's just a dangerous room. And nobody really knows the correct way to approach it. It's pretty much just dash and pray every time. You can sort of go up and to the left a bit, and it's supposed to be helpful, but I don't know. I just go. Check's beginning his Argus. It looks like he let one of the puffs get a little too close. But at least keeps it to a one cycle with a tiny bit of extra movement. He's probably a little scared because it's on 3 hearts. It's easy to misposition yourself around the puffs and get hit a couple of times. Sometimes you just get knocked back straight into other stuff. Oh, Doomtap missing the perfect Mire too. Has to wait for the Wizroad to respawn so that he can slash it. Gets a nice Fire Snake. Let's see if he goes for the Fireball dodge. Yep, sneaks right past it. And is Chex going to Death Mountain now? Yeah, he is. Does the hook dash exiting Swamp Palace to get the bird to pick him up a little faster? does sort out hook climbs on Death Mountain. That's why you wait to come here until you have hookshot. Ooh, Strider's being nasty. Or those are Tektites, right? Yeah. Usually when they sort of get in your way, you can just kind of maneuver your spin speed around them and be more or less fine most of the time, but that one landed right in the middle. Doomtap getting the bottom fire snake there, can't go for the frame rule on the energy ball. It looks like Chex probably isn't going to find a heart. He'll have to do Mire 2 without beams. I'm curious what his approach is, because he must have to do that more often than most people because of when he places Death Mountain. Oh, and he looks out with the crab, picks up that heart. Doomtap heading into the spooky action rooms. Correctly places the block while dust is still being kicked up. Uses the pause buffer before that Stalfos. Most people tend to use it in this room to better hit the spike, but that Stalfos can give you RNG where it gets in your way. You'd rather not slash him if you don't have to. Doing Spooky 2 without issue as well. Chex doing a slightly slower Mire 2, but doesn't mess it up and probably gains time there overall. Doomtap getting all the eyeballs with his spin, doesn't have to arrow or slash any of them. As a result, he's coming out of Vitreous with 17 arrows. Incredible. Yep, the slug gets in Chex's way, but he reacts correctly. It dies and gives him an extra bomb. He's probably grateful for that, and if he ends up missing Spooky, he won't be totally screwed. And lighting his torches. So Chex lost a solid amount of time in Swamp from that switch mishap, but has otherwise been matching his PB pretty well. Doomtap navigating towards Ice Rod. Fun fact on that flute menu, it's possible to simply hold left as it comes up, and it'll automatically go from 1 to 8, and as long as you time it correctly, which isn't that hard, you just go to 8 every time. It's nice not having to time button presses. See, is he driving through? No, he's just going to jump off the ledge. The squirrels are nice to him. He gets out, no problem. Chex moving into his spooky action rooms. Gets a little spooked himself, standing there waiting to place the brick on the switch. Decides to just wait for the fireballs to go off once before committing. Not a bad move. It can be stressful trying to get that block down in time. Doomtap missing the easiest spin speed in the world. Ooh, Chex kind of ran into a Stalfos before Spooky, but he cleans it up, just calmly walks over to the other side and fire rods the anti-fairy in the right spot. Very nice reaction. Get some awkward RNG on Viddy. The eyeball that was closest to him was the first one to move. It can be difficult to maneuver out of its way and get good spins. But he also spins all the eyes at once and doesn't have to do anything to clean it up. Doomtap executing his roller room. He's going into the dreaded pokies, about where you'd expect to be on Hearts and Magic. Gets his fairy and his magic drop. Let's see how he approaches them. Ooh, I don't know if he wanted to go to that side. It all works out. Doomtap not having to grab the arrow pot there. Chex calmly making his way through the Waffle House drive-thru. Doomtap getting the difficult fast RNG on Pokey 1. And gets rid of that Pokey perfectly. Picks up the key and dashes through the door. Doomtap slashing the switch at the bottom. In that room, if you've got full hearts, you can go up a bit. Chex having a hard time with squirrels. It sucks when those get in the way. Doomtap getting tagged by a Pokeball. But he's got plenty of magic, so losing beams isn't going to be consequential. Chex getting the free quick warp outside Turtle Rock. Doomtap squeezing by that roller, making it look easy. Doomtap coming into laser skip. Goes for the insta-dash, takes a hit for it, but still got that dash off immediately. Didn't have to stop to deal with the, I guess I'll call it a jelly. Doing a very nice cane dash, being over the Pokey. Chex also doing his roller room well. Doomtap with a textbook Trinex fight so far. Chex about to come into his chomps. Gets his fairy. And it looks like the chomps will be accommodating, and Chex even gets to employ... Ooh, he didn't quite push the switch. Ends up getting a little bit munched. And still, you're happy coming out of Chomp's room, only missing 4 hearts. He recovered nicely there. It's so easy for Chomps to go completely sideways. Gets one of the easier to deal with pokey RNGs. Decides to pick up that magic, even though he probably doesn't need it. And just taps the dash button as he comes out of the pipe to more quickly turn from Bunny into Link. Doomtap's only 12 seconds behind his PB. It's going from about 30 seconds behind in pod to about 12 seconds behind now. It's crazy getting that much time on a 1-2-3. Chex dealing with his pokies too. Doomtap doing a hook dash into Ganon's tower. Some people opt to just pump up that staircase instead of risking missing it. Well, it looks like Chex had a little bit of a fumble opening his chest, but reacts just fine and gets out without being hit by the roller. Doomtap executing a spike skip well. That's one of the tougher strategies that I've tried to do. It's just very precise in both timing and positioning. Chex with no issues on laser skip, coming into his peg pokey maze. Decides to do the easier, placing the block directly on the switch and not going for the cane dash. That's another room that if it goes badly, it goes really badly, so just ensuring that it doesn't go badly is the most important thing, even if you lose a little bit of time from the optimal strat. Doomtap does mic arrows, coming into Armos with a full 30. Well, Firehead was the second to die on Chex's try next. That's not what you want to see. Doesn't quite get the spin off perfectly, but still cleans up Trinex without issue. Doomtap doing a perfect Mimics 1. Oh, got a little bit of a clink on Mimics 2, but reacts well, doesn't get hit by a fireball, cleans it up. Going for the modern spike hallway strat. Pulls it off very well. Coming into Ganon Ball Z. Isn't able to do the stopless dash, but is able to redash and clean that up with a pretty good time. Decides to throw a pot and arrow the Stalfos in the conveyor room. Uses the menu to Fire Rod in Gauntlet 3 to deal with the Zazak going into an awkward position. And yeah, overall I've got nothing to complain about in this Gauntlet. Has no issue cleaning up Landmo with a 1 cycle. Does not even have to stop for magic. Has a little bit of an awkward menu, but reacts well, realizes quickly what he needs to do to fix it. Gets a little bit worried about the fire bar there and walks down before doing his dash. Smacking the energy ball with his fire rod. It's not consequential in terms of magic because we're getting a full refill anyways, but it's just that much lower. Grabs the chest key, heads into Moldarm 2. Oh, Doomtap's gonna hover. Let's see it. Perfect. Chex is not doing Mike arrows. He'll still have to grab the chest afterwards, though. I gotta say, this has been a really, really good Gainus Tower for Doomtap. Two on the first one isn't going to be able to 2-cycle it. It gets really friendly second RNG for it as well, but also gets blue-balled anyways. He'll have to hit all 3 to kill him here. Gets nice RNG for it and pulls it off. Curious how this compares to his gold. That lost about 6 seconds on his gold. It's crazy. I have no idea how he could gain 6 seconds on that. I guess it's mostly in the Aga 2. And heads into the final boss. Only 10 seconds behind his PB. Chex also doing well in his gauntlet. Oh, starts to get bullied by the Beamos. Ganon certainly not warping much for Doomtap. Ooh, turns him blue though. But times the spin correctly. And correctly positions himself to get the follow-up. Very nice. Just doing his 1, 2, 3 spins without issue. Doesn't have to do anything fancy. And cleans up Ganon without missing a spin. GG Doomtap, finishing the game only 11 seconds behind his PB. Getting a very clean 123.47. Most runners would kill for seeing that once, but, Doomtap getting it with 2 blue balls and making it look simple. Had that been 0 blue balls, that would have been a PB. Doomtap has gotten so consistent lately. It's frightening, honestly. Meanwhile, we've got Chex coming into his Moldrum refight. Has to use the hook to deal with him and get some invulnerability, but doesn't have a problem. Chex running through his conveyor bumpers and coming into his Acronym 2 fight. Some pretty friendly RNG cycle 1. Doesn't quite hit all 3. Ooh, this looks like trouble. Yep, misses 1 and gets blue balled. Just misses the 3 cycle. But at least cleans it up quickly with 4. Now time for Chex's Ganon fight. It's one of the easier Phase 2 patterns. You just gotta stand there, slash, and send out the hook a couple of times. No warps, no warps. No, there's a warp. And there's another. I shouldn't have opened my mouth. Only 3 warps overall, not bad. Also gets blue Ganon, decides not to take the risky play. If you're brave, you can get that spin off, but yeah, it's definitely scary doing it on that side of the room. Chex continuing to spin his Ganon. Not missing any spins other from the setup so far. Gets the tough top right RNG and does not mess it up. Cleans up his Ganon and GG Chex. Doomtap with a 123.47. Chex with a 127.47. Hard to believe that he was 4 whole minutes behind Doomtap. That's a testament more to Doomtap's skill than to Chex messing up very much. Watching this race, it's like, I'm not seeing very few major mistakes from either player. The only thing that went super wrong for Chex was his, I guess he had a cold stare debacle and forgot to hit the switch in Swamp. And hey, it looks like we got Doomtap in the voice channel.
Hello, hello.
Hello, hello. So, you're pretty good at this game.
Yeah, I guess I can agree with that. Um, so that was my best Dark World ever, and I was kind of shitting myself the whole time, and I'm still not totally over it. There's a lot of adrenaline because I could have PB'd if Ganon was super good, but he was
Uh-huh.
just average.
Yeah, with 0 blue balls, that would have been a PB.
Yeah. Where are these runs when I just am not in a race? Why can't I do this when I play by myself?
I mean, you turned out a bunch of 123s for 10 MG.
It was just one, but it was on the 9th one, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah, lately you've just had a level of consistency that makes me envious.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just it seems like a recent thing. Like it just came out of nowhere almost. Like I had an epiphany and now I'm better than I was before.
Yeah, you just
Although
leveled up.
I haven't done anything new really. Implemented a couple of strats, but I'm mostly just playing the game the same as always.
Yeah, sometimes it just clicks, and sometimes it's just for a week or two, but sometimes it sticks.
Well, I hope it sticks. I like to be sticky.
Let's see, I don't know if Chex is on his way or not.
Well, he is in this.
There
He is
is.
here, so.
Hello,
GG's
Chexhuman.
Sounds
You're
really quiet. Yeah, super 1% quiet. I need an adult.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, okay. Hi.
Hello, Chex.
GG, nice run.
GG.
So how does it feel to go up against Doomtap's best Dark World ever?
Well, I think Doomtap needed the best Dark World ever to beat me. So, GG.
Came in clutch.
Yeah, really pulled it out of nowhere. I didn't get to see, like, I have the race open when I race, but I didn't get to see, like, what happened to Chex. I saw the Coles there party, and I think he got 0 blue balls. But other than that, maybe a scary Moldorm fight.
He had a little bit of an issue in Swamp.
Yeah, I missed the switch.
Oh no.
When's the last time you made that mistake?
I'm not sure if you mean me or Chex, but it's relatively recently, this year, but I don't remember when.
Yeah, it's one of those things that's just impossible to remember.
I missed it versus Fox last league season.
Oh, no.
You need to practice that.
I try so hard to remember ever since then, and I don't know how to remember. And right after I left the room, Casnode said, he remembered to hit the switch, and I felt so good.
Yeah, I forget if I was just wondering or if I was talking about Doomtap or what.
Yeah, exactly.
But sorry if I confused you there.
No, you didn't. I felt pretty relaxed during this whole race. And I was certainly excited during the Light World with how well it was going. Thanks to 0 blue balls. But something, I don't know, I had something broke. Then I couldn't concentrate anymore. Yeah, I had this problem where I just couldn't do things right yesterday, and it just came back late in this game. So I'm not sure how to hit that switch in my mind, but hopefully
is that
I'll hit
a
it back.
portion of the game that's like substantially different in glitched categories?
I don't go to Left Side Swamp.
Yeah.
Except at league races.
One of the less traversed areas in the game. You avoid it if you can.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think we're good to wrap up. I know that my voice is getting sore and it's difficult commentating alone. Do you guys have any final thoughts about your race, about what's coming next, how you're doing in the league, whatever?
Nothing specific. I'm obviously very happy with this race, and I think my next opponent is either Fox or Humbug. I'm not sure when that race is.
Yeah, we've got an interesting selection of 3-0 players this time around.
Yeah, it's been fun. I'm not sure what's coming next, so I'm looking forward.
Yeah, me too.
And thanks so much for commentating. I felt like I listened in, and I felt that your commentary was keeping me calm. I don't know why.
I'm glad.
But I appreciate it.
I'm glad you found it helpful. That someone was listening in and found it useful.
I didn't listen. I only looked.
You
I
weren't
get too distracted. I'll watch it back. I usually do.
I really like doing runs in races. It keeps me going in NMG, and it keeps me excited about what I'm doing. So I like being in races. So sometimes I do well. Sometimes I don't. So GG's again.
GG's.
Yeah, having this league to look forward to has been a good time, and I'm glad that we all get to race this frequently. But I'll let you guys go and kick it back to ZSR. Thank you very much for the race, and GG to Doomtap. And to Chex, but, Doomtap kicked ass.
All right. Thank you to our runners, Doomtap and Chexhuman. Thank you to our commentator, Kaznode. Everyone did a fantastic job. Coming up on the main ZSR channel in half an hour, we have the Zelda 2 Randomizer weekly race. And then at 12:30 a.m. tonight, Eastern Time, we have another Link to the Past NMG League match between PH112358 and Fair Agent. So stick around for that. Go find something to eat, and we'll be back on ZSR in about a couple hours for that match. And with that, we're going to go and sign off here. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. Hope you had a wonderful time and a fantastic rest of your night. Bye!